In today's video, we're going to talk about some of the reasons why you may want to consider buying a Vespa GTS 300 and some of the reasons why this big scooter may not be for you. Now, Vespa has always been one of the world's most iconic and recognized brands. Pop culture can't get enough of it. But as motorcyclists, we kind of don't know where we stand with scooters. They're like the weird cousin of the family. My name is Adrian from Motorcycle. I have been riding for 15 years, working in the industry for like 10, but I'm also a Vespa owner. This isn't my bike, so I won't be having any personal bias. I don't care whether or not you buy this bike. I just want to share with you guys, as both a motorcyclist and a Vespa owner, and someone who's spent some time hands-on with this thing, why a Vespa GTS 300 might actually be worth considering, and some of the reasons why you might just want to skip it altogether. All right, let's go. So right off the bat, I'm going to start with the step-through frame. And the reason why I'm starting with it is because, well, I know for a lot of you guys, that's it. That's the make or break. That's the decision maker right there. It's a step-through. The thing is, the step-through frame can be excellent for people with disabilities, injuries. It's really easy to get on and off that seat. When instead of swinging a leg over, you can just swing a leg through. It gives people the ability to start riding or to keep on riding in spite of whatever it is that they have going on. On the flip side, if what you really want is a badass motorcycle, this cutout space is just probably not going to cut it for you. Now, I'm not saying that the GTS handles poorly, but what I'm saying is for all you hooligans who like to ride really sportily and aggressively at high speeds, sportily, is that a word? You're just not going to have the same level of precise high-speed control as with a motorcycle. You can wrap both legs around and really control with your whole body. Hey, one thing I forgot to say in my intro is that I have a really good tip for anybody who is interested in a Vespa GTS for buying one that's going to save you literally thousands of dollars. I'm going to put that in the video, so stay tuned and you'll see that. Speaking of speed, one thing that people will constantly ask you is that thing safe on the highway? And the answer is yes, but also no. The Vespa's odometer will tell you that it's doing 88 miles per hour or about 141 kilometers per hour. There's just one problem with that. The speedometer is a little bit of a dick pic. It's made to make things look just a little bit better than they actually are. When this is actually verified by GPS, you're not really seeing the GTS 300 going over 77 miles per hour or about 124 kilometers an hour. It just seems like there's some sort of electronic power cutout that just sort of stops it. And that's a shame, but maybe there's a good reason for that. You got to remember that this thing is running on 12-inch wheels. And I think the wheelbase is only like 54-inch wheelbase. So it's not that this thing is unstable on the highways. It's relatively stable. It's just that it's stable in spite of its design and not because of it. This is not a design that intrinsically should be developed for highway use, but it works okay. Honestly, I don't see the wheelbase being the problem. What I see with being the problem is the fact that if someone's coming up behind me and they are like right up my butt and all I really want to do is get out of their way, I can't necessarily just gun it and pull away and give the hothead behind me space to just keep on cruising by. I'm stuck at 124 kilometers an hour and I can't go faster even if I want to. So the question of whether or not it's safe on the highways, well, that depends on if only being able to do 124 kilometers an hour sounds safe to you. The third thing to think about is the transmission, except that that's not the clutch, that's the brake. And this too is also the brake. And over here, there's nowhere to shift. And that's because since pretty much all Vespas since the 2005 PX, the Vespa GTS 300 uses a automatic CVT transmission. Now, that's great because it can be really unintimidating, beginner-friendly, very welcoming. It helps people get into riding, which is a good thing. I'll be completely honest, when I am like commuting from downtown at rush hour traffic, the CVT transmission is actually really nice. I'm not having to manage a clutch. It's really nice and easy. But outside of traffic and gridlock, I'm kind of indifferent about the CVT transmission. And the truth is that it comes with some different stuff that takes getting used to. Yeah, there's a belt, but it's a belt that doesn't last anywhere near as long as a regular drive belt that I might be used to on my Harley Davidson. And you know, there's pulleys, but it's not like one pulley at the front, one pulley at the back. There's like a half dozen pulleys in there. Instead of being huge, they're like tiny little things. And there's a variator, and I don't really know what it does. And there's weird scoop-shaped things, and things are always continuously shifting in there. It's very shifty. I don't understand it. I don't like it. It's different to maintain. I'm not saying it's better or worse, but it's different. And let me tell you, there's an upside to that too, because when you don't have a chain to deal with, you don't have to lube this thing, clean this thing. You guys don't know how much time I spend every season dealing with chain stuff. It sucks. Don't have to deal with that on a Vespa. This baby needs way less maintenance than any chain drive motorcycle does. You just do your oil and you deal with the automatic CVT stuff, I believe every 10 to 12,000 kilometers, whatever that is in miles. There you go. But all of that easy breezy air about these Vespas can kind of give you an overconfidence in their simplicity that could end up getting you in trouble. Let me explain. See, this beefy girl right here is my Harley, and her drive belt can go for like 100,000 kilometers easily. And if I try and get this belt in here to go even a fifth as long, it is gonna leave me stranded. And it's a scary kind of break too. See, when my friend's Vespa died on her, it wasn't like some sort of gradual thing or a little warning light popped on. It was, she had power, she was doing about 50 miles per hour, and then all of a sudden, she was twisting the throttle and she wasn't getting any more power out of it. The motor was still spinning, but there was nothing connecting what was spinning at the front to the back wheel, and she completely lost power and almost got rear-ended, which is not good. And then there's the cutesy stuff too, right? Like this GTS 300 has a 287cc single-cylinder motor. It gets 65 to 70 miles per gallon, which is like 25 to 30% better than a Prius. Not bad. And check this out, I can press this button, unlock the seat, and I got storage space underneath the seat. Sometimes it even locks. There we go. And yep, it's got ABS front and back, and it has traction control, which is bomb. But then there's all of the not so cute stuff about it. Like, I mean, it's cute, and people won't be mistaking you for some badass motorcyclist that you aren't. And sure, there's under-seat storage, but you can't fit a full-face helmet in there. Although ironically, on the smaller Vespa, you can. And let's talk about size for a minute. Typically, Vespas have come in sort of two frame sizes. One would be called the large frame, and the other one is called the small frame. See, one crazy thing about the GTS 300 is that it weighs about 90 pounds more than the small frame Vespa. That's a big difference, especially if you're buying this baby because you have some sort of mobility issues and you need something that's easy to push around. Might be better off looking this way. Time out. I forgot to mention that I have another video on the Vespa GTS 300. It's more of a traditional review where I am riding the bike. I also cover the history of Vespa, history of Piaggio. Hit subscribe if you want to see that. I also cover the top 10 questions that are most asked about this bike. And I have another video where I do a full-on comparison of large frame versus small frame Vespas and why I personally chose for myself the small frame, even though I like big bikes. All right, time in. And if we compare the GTS 300 to similarly sized motorcycles, the GTS 300 Vespa weighs 365 pounds. The Honda CB300R weighs 50 pounds less. Now, some of you will absolutely fall in love with this beautiful red booty and all of the beautiful curves of the Vespa GTS 300. It'll tick every box, and you may not look like a badass when you ride it, but I guarantee you will be riding it with a smile on your face every single time you take it out. This thing is gorgeous. It's a classic. It'll still look beautiful 50 years from now. It's timeless. However, I totally get that some of you guys just, this doesn't match your riding style, or you do ride like an old lady, but your small PP won't let you get on one of these things, whatever. Point is, I get that this isn't for everybody. All right, and finally, my tip for people who are still interested in buying the GTS 300 is don't. Hear me out. Before the 300, Vespa made a GTS 250. You know what the difference was? Not a whole lot, all right? To be honest, power-wise, it's almost the same power. In fact, the 250 actually makes a little tiny bit more torque than the 300 does, which is a big deal. That's your acceleration, right? The thing is, a lot of people, they buy these Vespas with these dreams of using it, and then they don't use it. You end up with a lot of Vespa GTS 250s that have like no miles on them whatsoever. So you do miss out on anti-lock brakes, you do miss out on traction control, but to be honest, I've been riding for 15 years. I've owned literally dozens of bikes. You've seen just some of my bikes around the garage. I've never had ABS. I've never had traction control. I'm still here. The upside to this is that honestly, the GTS 250s, guys, they sell for literally half the price of what a GTS 300 sells for. Like, you will save easily $4,000, let's say, versus buying one of these 300s brand new. So that's my tip. If you like the video, please give it a big thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, ride safe, but have fun. Peace.